Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. It's Cassie here, and today I want to talk to you guys about step-by-step details of what you need to have prepared before you actually leave Canada and move to Australia. So this video is mainly from a Canadian's perspective, and I just thought it'd be really helpful, so let's get right to it. The very first thing you need to do is get a working holiday visa. So the one I'm under is subclass 417. There's different types of visas, and if you go on the Immigration Australia website, you can actually do a little quiz to see what kind of visa is more suitable for you. But that's the one I picked, and it cost me $485. I think that's in Australian, but yeah, that's how much it costs for a 1-year visa. And if you want to renew it for a 2nd year, then you have to do something called regional work for 3 months in the 1st year, which is pretty much farm work, but you can look more into that yourself online. The application's very simple. I got mine approved in 15 seconds. So for Canadians, it's relatively easy for you to apply online and get it straight away. So that's what you need to do first. The second thing I thought about is your bank account. So of course, when you're in Australia, you're going to need some sort of a bank account for you to put your money into. And if you're like me, someone that likes to be like super prepared before I do any like drastic change in my life, what I ended up doing was I opened a bank account from Canada, and there's a couple banks out there that actually give you the ability to open from Canada, and the one I picked is the Commonwealth Bank of America, and that one pretty much is perfect for working holiday visa travelers because the first year the annual fee is waived. The monthly fee is waived. I think it's $4 per month or something like that, but it's waived for the entire 1st year, so you don't have to pay any account fees. And then you can open a bank account online, and you don't need a permanent address just to open your bank account yet, which is awesome. And then you can immediately start transferring funds to it right away. I picked Commonwealth because of all these reasons, and also because they're one of the bigger banks there, and there's a lot of different ATMs and like different bank locations, so if I ever need to go to a bank, they would be very accessible. And how it's pretty much going to work is I opened up a bank account there. I can transfer funds into that bank account from Canada, and then when I actually get to Australia, I just visit one of the branches and I confirm my identity, show whatever documents I need to show, and then they're going to give me a debit card that I can use, and that's pretty much it. So quite straightforward, really easy. Now you have your bank account set up, but how do you transfer money from your Canadian bank account to your Australian bank account? The easiest solution that I found after like scouring so many websites, getting really confused because there's a lot of options out there, I ended up picking TransferWise. And you might have heard of two very common ones. There's TransferWise and there's one called Currency Fair. Currency Fair tends to have like a better you get like a better rate, but then I realized with that one, for Canadians, it's not a good one to use because in order for me to transfer money there, I would have to set up a wire transfer, which costs me like $30 because there's a fee to do a wire transfer. And then since Currency Fair doesn't have any banks in Canada, I have to transfer it to an Ireland bank, which is super weird. And then that also has like different charges and stuff for keeping it in the Ireland bank. Anyways, point of the story is, if you're Canadian, don't use Currency Fair because it's not going to be easy, and it's really confusing because we don't have any branches located here in Canada. But we can use TransferWise, which is, even though a little bit higher when it comes to the rate, but it's totally worth it, and it makes your life so simple. All you have to do is open up an account on their website, select like how much you want to transfer. So I transferred $5,000 over. You can immediately see how much it's going to cost you, how much you're going to get there. Like the fees are all very straightforward, and for me, $5,000, the transfer fee was $40. So I felt like that was doable considering how much I'm saving compared to like going to an actual bank to do it. The fees are much lower. So I ended up doing that, and then once I confirm that amount, it asks me to transfer the $5,000 to TransferWise with my bank account, and there's like something will pop up and it'll give you multiple options of which bank you want to link it to. And for me, I'm with TD Bank, and it was really easy. I just click it, I log into my TD account, and then it tells me, oh, do you want to take 5,000 from your checking or your savings account? And I pick checkings, and then I just click confirm, and then that was it. It just took $5,000 from my checking account, and then so that $5,000 goes to TransferWise, and then they will convert it and give me the best, well, like a good currency exchange rate, and then they'll change that to Australia and then deposit that into my Australian bank account for me. And that can all be done without even having to go there yet, and I think it takes about 3-4 days for it to officially be deposited in your bank account. So that's definitely what I plan on using for transferring money from here to there and from there back to Canada. So yeah, TransferWise is awesome. Speaking of banks, another thing you have to consider before you move is, of course, your bank accounts, your savings, any type of automatic payments you have set up, if you have investments. So for example, I have mutual fund investments. I also have a certain amount of money that gets taken from my checking and like put into my savings. So all of those different things, you have to remember to reduce them, because when you're in Australia, you're going to be using up those funds a lot more, and you might not be able to always transfer it back to your Canadian account frequently. So you want to make sure you don't have too many savings like being taken out of your account every single month. That way you can live a little bit more relaxed and you don't have to worry all the time. So what I did is I reduced all of my mutual fund contributions, all of my investments. I like reduced the amount that I am saving, and all of those accounts are taking from my checking account. So I always have to make sure my checking account has enough money in there. It can't drop below a certain point, or else there's nothing else for my savings to like take it out of. And that's pretty much all you have to do. Make sure that you think about your account and like how things are going to work, and if you have like prepaid plans for stuff set up, just make sure you're aware of all of those things. Next is travel insurance. Travel insurance is something you have to get there. So if you're going for a year, a lot of things can happen in a year. You could, accidentally hurt yourself bushwalking. You could accidentally break a leg, or who knows what stuff there is. And I had a lot of trouble finding what kind of insurance works for me. There's so many options out there, but they're all gonna cost you around like $800 to $1,000 for 1 year. And the best one I found was by a company called World Nomads. So this one was the one I chose. I think for almost one full year, I was able to get it for like 800 and something. And that includes coverage for both medical and travel related insurance. So medical would be like emergency situations medically. Travel insurance is like trip interruption or like lost baggage or like stuff like that. And that's the best rate I got that was able to provide me both of these things. I did search like other popular ones like Allianz, I think is what it's called, Blue Cross. A lot of people recommended it too, but just getting medical insurance, emergency medical insurance for those ones, it already costs like more than $1,000, which I'm like, I'm not gonna be doing anything like that crazy, so I don't want to spend like more than $1,000 only getting medical insurance. To add on to the whole insurance thing, something I discovered while searching for it is if you bought your trip, so like your trip to Australia, with a credit card that has travel insurance on it. So I have an American Express card which has travel insurance covered on it. So that would mean there's like specific rules for the travel insurance on your credit card too, but mine says for the first 15 days I'm covered for medical insurance on my trip. So that would mean I don't need to buy travel insurance off World Nomads for the first 15 days of my trip because I'm already covered by my credit card. So that's another helpful tip to think about. Another tip for travel insurance, a lot of travel insurance companies, if you want to buy off like World Nomads for example, their insurance only really gives you the full coverage amount if you have a valid provincial health card. So what that is like your care card, like your BC care card that you have connected to your license, the number on the back, or you might have like a separate BC service card which will have your care card number on it. And you have to have a valid care card in order for you to get travel insurance overseas. So that was something that really confused me, but make sure you have that done. Most people have a care card, so it should work no problem. And to make things even more like certain that everything's gonna be okay, what I did is actually I called the care card location in Vancouver, and then I told them about my situation, that I'm leaving the country for a year and possibly more. And what they did was they put something on my card called it's like a temporarily out of province thing on my care card, and that pretty much ensures that even if, say, I'm on my trip and like midway through the year my care card expires or something, it'll still cover me because I've already put something on it that tells them that I'm temporarily out of the province, and it'll cover me for 2 years starting from the day I leave. So that's just another tip that I discovered. And then make sure when you come back from Australia though to call care card again and let them know that you came back, because that way they'll take that thing off your card and then your card will work like it usually does. Alright, so the next thing you have to do is, of course, get your money exchanged. So for me, what I did was I put $5,000 in my Australian bank account, so I've already transferred that, which is there. But I also want to bring cash on me because for the first month I'm going to be traveling a lot to different places, and you can get a better conversion rate to just do it here instead of in Australia. So I just went to VBCE, which is my currency exchange company that I prefer going to, and then I exchanged some money in there, so I would have $1,000 to use in Australia, like cash, so I don't have to worry about running out for that first month when I'm going to be traveling a lot. So number 8, the next thing is to pay off your credit card bills. A day before you leave or 2 days before you leave, make sure you look at all of your accounts, however many credit cards you have. I have 2, one with TD and one with American Express, and I want to make sure I pay it all off, because I'm definitely not going to use my TD credit card when I'm in Australia, and I don't want to get dinged for it, so just make sure you pay that off a day or 2 before you leave. Also, when it comes to phone, like what do you do with your phone plan? So what I decided to do, because I want to keep my current phone number, but I'm with Virgin Mobile right now, and if I tell them I'm leaving the country, they can give me something called a temporarily leave thing, plan, whatever, and it costs, I think it costs like $20-something per month or more, I can't remember, but something like that, in order to keep my phone number with that company. But that is not the way to go, because you're paying a lot just to keep your phone number. Instead, what I did is I took that phone number, I'm going to like a cheaper company called Lucky, and they have plans that are like prepaid plans. So the one I'm going with is $15 per month. So what they told me at Lucky is, even though it says $15 per month, they will keep your account open for up to 4 months if you don't use up that entire $15. And of course I'm not going to use it because I'm going to be in Australia. And so what they do is there's an app where you can like top up if you want, and you just put $15 for that prepaid account, leave it for like 4 months, and then every 4 months you just top up and like add more to it. And so you're technically only paying 3.5 times or something like that. So totally worth it. You're saving a whole lot of money, and you're able to keep your phone number. That way when you come back from Australia, you'll have your number still. You don't have to change all of your government documents to some weird new phone number you're gonna have to rememorize again. Now that you've dealt with your phone plan, the next thing you have to do is if you're gonna drive there. So I thought about possibly getting a car there, I'm not sure, but I do want and like the possibility of driving in Australia, and luckily for Canadians, you don't have to worry about that. As long as you have a valid Class 5 driver's license here, you can use it in Australia. But I know it depends on which province, sorry, not province, which region you're in. I'm gonna be in Queensland and there's no issue with that. I think you just have to go there, pay a little fee, and then you can drive with your Canadian driver's license. So that should be no problem. And the last thing you need to do is pack. Packing should be pretty straightforward. You should of course always write down a list of everything you want to bring. Yeah, that's pretty much my step-by-step guide of how you can prepare for moving to Australia. That's all I have for today. I hope it helped you guys in some ways. I'm also going to link this Google Doc that I created with the step-by-step of everything I just mentioned in this video. That way you can take a look at it and like check off the list as you go along. If you guys have any questions, I can try my best to answer it. Just leave it in the comments below. If you liked this video and it was helpful to you, please give me a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel if you enjoyed it, because I'm gonna be posting a whole lot more coming up of my entire move there, my whole experience, and it's gonna be a lot of fun. Anyways, that's it. Bye guys!